What up, what up? Welcome back, everybody. Episode 8, Season 1, the finale, New South News. Once again, it's your boy, Rod Bridgers. And to my left today, man, we have a special guest host.
Gotta raise the roof.
Raise the roof. One time for the one time, Mr. Phenom Don. What's going on?
What up, people?
My Donnie, that boy. All right, guys, so high school basketball season has officially ended. So here today on the New South News, we're actually going to do a kind of an end-of-the-year superlative. So we're taking away public school, private school. We're talking about the best overall, regardless of classification, public or private. All right, Donnie, so the first award we're going to talk about is the Gatorade Player of the Year. Who do you think is going to take the crown?
It's pretty obvious in my eyes. The last 4 years, he's been a 4-year starter at Cox Mill now.
Mm-hmm.
Two-time state champ. Am I right? Two-time or three-time?
Two-time. He went to back-to-back.
Okay.
Yes.
Back-to-back state champs.
Mm-hmm.
Do commit Wendell Moore. 6'6", guard forward. Kind of does it all for the team.
Absolutely.
That's what McDonald's All-American this past year. I'm sure he'll get named to Jordan Brand. He might have already been.
Yeah, him and
Patrick.
Jordan
Pat. Brand Classic All-Stars. In terms of what he'll be doing for Duke next year, I mean, coming in, Coach K's looking for him to be the ultimate playmaker almost.
Yeah, I think he'll kind of take on that RJ Barrett role more. It's in a sense more where he'll be more of a playmaker.
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. So Duke will definitely need that next year.
Yep. So with me going with Wendell Moore as the Gatorade Player of the Year, my prediction. In terms of like most improved player, what are you thinking in terms of who you saw this past year that made the biggest jump in terms of their production, their efficiency for their team?
Oh man, easy. That's an easy answer for me. That has to be Moravian Prep's Josh Hall. Josh has made the biggest jump from 1 year to the next in a player that I've seen in recent memory. Right now the phone's blowing up for Josh. Recently, Kansas, NC State have just called. It's going to be a big summer for Josh. Like I said today, I think he's going to finish in the top 20 or 30 of the country. So Josh is a big-time talent.
Oh, that kid is special. After seeing him this past weekend with Team Loaded 17s and at the Phenom Hoop Report Phenom opening, he made everything look effortless.
Nice plug.
Always. You know.
You repping.
But no, after seeing him in person, I guess it was that Oak Hill game back in October, November where it just clicked for him. But whatever it was, whether it's his mental, his game, it has definitely taken the step to the next level, and I'm very, very eager to see how this AAU season goes for him.
Absolutely. All right, Don. So who's Josh playing AAU with this summer?
This spring and summer, he'll be running with Team Loaded North Carolina 17s. They've got. After seeing them, man, they made a tweet this past weekend after winning the Phenom Open and saying they're the best team in the hoop state. But
wow,
honestly, they're loaded, man. Josh and Carter at the 1 and 2.
No pun intended.
Yes, facts. Josh Hall and Carter Witt at the 1 and 2. Man, Carter Witt, I'm ready for him to take that next step too. Like he made it look. Talk about someone else that made it look effortless this weekend. Carter Witt made it look effortless.
I'm gonna go on record and make a bold prediction right now. Carter Witt will be a blue blood recruit. I will say that.
Hey, I want to see that. I want to see that next step.
Absolutely. So, guys, on Season 2 of the New South News, we're actually going to be following AAU teams like Team Loaded, so be on the lookout for that. So, Carter Witt was obviously one of the best players in the state of North Carolina this year. So, right now, let's actually get into who we think were the top 10 guys in the state of North Carolina this year, regardless of classification once again. So, Donnie, who's your first team?
So, for my first team, I'm going to go with, first and foremost, Wendell Moore, Duke commit from Cox Mill. 6'6", do-it-all guard forward. So after Wendell Moore, I actually have two public school guys in my front court. To start off with, I've got 6'10" UNC commit Dayron Sharp. He's a junior at South Central, and they won the North Carolina Public School 4A state championship.
Right.
Alongside him, I have 6'8" forward going to UNC Wilmington, Amaje Dodd, who took Green Central pretty far in the state playoffs this year, also proclaiming himself as the best player in Eastern North Carolina?
Right.
Or maybe even the whole state of North Carolina.
Say he gets buckets on anybody.
There you go. At my point guard and shooting guard position, I'm actually going to go the Langley twins from Southwest Guilford. They've proven it on the public school level. They've proven it on the private school level. Now let's see what they do at UNCG next year. And to finish that first team off, I'm going to go with Florida State commit Patrick Williams. 6'8", wing guard, but long term, I think he has the best potential to be a pro in North Carolina in terms of the class of 2019.
100%.
In terms of, so I've named my first team. Rod, let's hear your thoughts on your first team.
So our first team had a lot of similarities here. I had Dayron, I had Patrick Williams, I had Wendell. My two in the backcourt, my backcourt's a little different. I have Louisville commit Josh Nickelberry from Northwood Temple, who's recently won the Big Baller Brand All-American Game MVP with 33 points. Congratulations, Josh. Also, then Josh Hall will be my other backcourt mate from Moravian Prep as well, too. So first team's similar, but our first teams are pretty big. So.
Oh, yeah, so much talent, man. We got to show all the state love. So
absolutely.
All right, so you've just given me your 5 for the first team All-State. How about let's start with second team All-State and your selections.
All right, cool. So my second team is a little guard heavy here. So I'm starting with Shy Phillips from South Central, state champion, unbelievable talent. Then I'm going Carter Witt from Leesville Road. Carter had a monster year for Leesville. He literally put that team on his back a lot of times here. Then I'm going to Maji Dodd, Green Central, man in the middle. Justin Wright, undefeated Farmville Central, point guard. Justin does it all. Can get buckets anyway. Then finally, I'm finished with John Michael Wright out of Fayetteville Academy. So John Michael was a state champion as well, too, in the 2A NCISA. All right, so Donnie, who's your second team this year?
I'm actually looking over my second team right now. I actually put a really big emphasis on public school guys in my first team and private school guys in my second team. But to start off at the point guard, just like you, one of the more underrated point guards in our state that doesn't get enough love, in my opinion, John Michael Wright. Mm-hmm. At the 2 guard, I've got Louisville commit Josh Nickelberry, who, like you said, MVP at the Triple B's game just now in this past weekend in Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. At the 3 guard, I've got Moravian Prep and Durham boy Josh Hall. The hometown hero starting to blow up, get his, like you said, potentially top 50 guy by the end of the summer if he does everything right.
Right.
At the 4, I'm going to give it to Carmel Christian's Donovan Gregory. Appalachian State commit, led them to, I mean, they were the favorites for the 2A state championship this year, and they end up doing that. And to finish off, the newest member of the Hoop State this past season, 6'10", Isaiah Todd.
Ooh.
That was my second team. Me and Rod have given our first and second team selections. Now we actually want to hear from you guys in terms of y'all's third team, even y'all's first and second team. If y'all have differences of opinions between me and Rod's selections, we want to hear it. Y'all let us know in the comments below. Now that the season's over in North Carolina and 8 state champions have been crowned, of those 8, I mean, even not of those 8, which team would you say, regardless if they were invited to Geico or not, who do you think the best team in North Carolina was, and would they compete against those national powers?
So the team I'm going to choose is South Central. South Central could have went to Geico Nationals and maybe won a game or two. We saw them take Rainey to the wire at the John Wall Invitational. Honestly, that was a game they really gave away to Rainey as well too. But I definitely think South Central, they're well coached. They defend the ball. You have a McDonald's All-American in the middle, so you have great guards around them. So I think South Central definitely would have won a game.
So I'm actually going to go with Greensboro Day. They won the 4A Independent School State Championship this year, and they've previously competed in the Geico National Championships. I guess it was the Dicks back then. Right. It was, 2 or 3 years ago, and they went and defeated IMG in the first round. That
was Jordan Perkins, J.P. Mormon, John Newman. Those guys will do it. Yeah,
but, I mean, I got to give it to Greensboro Day. South Central would be a contender, but Greensboro Day's been there. They've proved that they can win there, and the coach there has been there for a while now. So he has also proved that winning is in his genes, and he can compete against the national guys with Hoop State guys himself.
Right. So I think what's interesting about that is we actually both picked teams, but we didn't pick their coaches as nominated as Coach of the Year.
Yeah. Hey, well, who are your guys for the Coach of the Year? Are we going public and private, or?
I think we'll go overall.
Okay. All right.
So if I had to choose one guy, I'm going to go Southwest Guilford's Guy Shavers. He led into an undefeated season. I think a biggest thing to me that stood out with Coach Shavers is that after the injury to Christian Martin, he got the guys to rally, to continue to play hard, and then going to the state championship with a game they really needed him, and they still pushed through. So that's hard to get a bunch of young kids to get back their focus after things like that happen. So I'm going to go Coach Shavers from Southwest Guilford.
All right. Well, to go with you're going with Coach Shavers. I'm actually going to go with Rob Salter from Greenfield School.
Ooh.
Going into the season, obviously, they lose North Carolina's most prolific scorer ever. Everyone pretty much wrote them off, even though they returned to everyone but Kobe, right?
Right.
So, I mean, they pretty much handled business, did what they were supposed to do, and beat But Trinity Christian was favored this year before Greg's injury.
Correct.
Took them down. Took everybody down. Ended up proving they were the state champs this year. So I mean, shout out to Rob Salter. Shout out to the whole Greenfield School. They're starting 5 and everything.
And most importantly, shout out to Wilson, North Carolina.
Of course, man. Big 252.
2-5. We in here, man.
Since we've last been on set, Rod actually has emceed 2 All-Star games here in North Carolina. It was the first one was the 252 Classic.
Triad All-Star.
Oh, Triad All-Star. I'm sorry. Triad All-Star held in Greensboro, North Carolina. And the second game was the 252 Classic held by Powerplex.
Yes.
Down in Wilson, North Carolina. Good old Rod's hometown. How about, you want to give us a rundown on how those events went?
Yeah, so first of all, the Triad All-Star Classic was great. Shout out to Keyshawn Bishop. Runs the first 48 Triad All-Star up there in Greensboro. Does a great job, man. That game was actually a really good game, really competitive. The guy who stood out the most to me, there's a kid from High Point Central called Dehu Ding. That's his name.
Oh, I saw a little feature on him.
He is a kid that nobody talks about here in the Hoop State that if he gets on a roster, he's gonna be that kid you see in 2 or 3 years. You're like, yo, where did he come from? Ball of energy, athletic, can shoot it, can handle it. Like, he looked like the best player on the court. So great game there. The girls' game was actually good there as well. They have a girl, KK Dean. She's going to West Virginia. Like, she will be one of the best guards in the country by the time she's a junior or senior. Like, she was that good. So that was good. Then we actually got to go to my hometown, Wilson, and go to the 252 Classic. Shout out to my guys, Jeremy and Darian Cahill, Travian, those guys putting that event together. Great event. It was a really, really good event. A lot of guys stood out. Amaji Dye won the MVP. CK Everett just literally obliterated the dunk contest. Lot of talented players there, man. So it was a good event. It was a good experience. It was good to see big crowds out in both events. And I got the MC, so that's pretty cool too.
No, that's nice, man. That's nice when the state comes out and supports their own.
Definitely. Absolutely.
So with all the regional all-star games that go on throughout the state of North Carolina, is that more beneficial to y'all that there are more regional all-star games, or do y'all think as fans of the sport, would it be more beneficial to have one huge game that would highlight all the players in the state of North Carolina? I want to hear y'all's opinions, comments. Just comment below and let us know y'all's thoughts.
All right, guys. So the underrated culture player is a brand created by Winthrop alum and Kinston alum Mike Jenkins, shedding light on players who don't get as much publicity as your household names in the hoop state.
This week's underrated culture player of the week is CK Everett. Recent participant of the 252 Classic, attends John Holmes High School outside of Edenton, North Carolina. Rod, do you want to fill us in a little bit on him?
Man, listen. So I made a statement on Twitter the other day, and I got a lot of backlash from it. I said CK Everett is the highest jumping high school kid I've ever seen. And yes, that includes Quayshawn Parker. Now, when I said this, I got mentions, I got texts, I got calls, and no way, there's no way. If people would have saw how high he jumped last weekend in the 252 dunk contest, the things that he was doing is just unbelievable. In the layup lines, he was just unbelievable. His dunk to win the dunk contest, he windmilled over Amaji Dye. Amaji Dye is 6'7", windmilled, and did not touch him. Windmilled. CK is an energy guy. He's a bit of a tweener as far as positions, but he's a ball of energy. He can step out and knock the mid-range shot down a little bit, but CK's biggest asset is protecting the rim, put backs. He's just an energy guy. So, you'll see the next level. He'll do a little bit of everything. So.
Oh yeah, I know our guy Anthony Bruton was really high on him. I saw him at the Get Me Recruited Super 60 a couple weeks ago, and he was telling me about him and how high the kid could jump.
Absolutely. With
the first season ending, we want to actually give a shout out to our guy Mike Jenkins at Underrated Culture. If you guys through the state, y'all have heard every week we've pretty much given a shout out to a player who should deserve more in terms of limelight, in terms of his name, in terms of his play. But our guy Mike Jenkins has been there throughout the whole season. He was the first company to pretty much help promote New South News and the Hoop State Network. So we want to give a big shout out to Mike Jenkins. We want to give a big shout out to Underrated Culture Player of the Week and everything you guys have done for these players throughout the season.
Thank you.
Make sure y'all click the link below that we've got posted and show them some love, man. It's the Hoop State, so we all want to just support each other.
All right, guys, so that's the end of season 1. We're going to take a couple of weeks off, but we will be back with grassroots AAU coverage here. We'll have Donnie over here some. We'll have my boy Ray will be back.
With that, we'll be bringing you guys best performances from the AAU season. updates in terms of recruiting and what players are looking like, and team and player ranking trackers throughout the entire state of North Carolina.
So, guys, we're going to have Ray's new show called Ray's Rundown, where he's going to be breaking down top recruits in the state of North Carolina. We're going to have my show, Hot Rods, where we got featured guests coming up. We got Julius Hodge coming up. We got Jalen Harris coming up. A lot of interesting guests coming up here soon, so be on the lookout for that. And other dope content that we're providing on the Hoop State Network. So, guys, stay tuned. Buckle up. It's going to be a fun ride. For Rod Bridgers, Donnie Boy, Ray Missinette in the back. New South News, Season 1, Episode 8, the finale. We're out.
I'm still here.